Oi! Good day, Jax! This is going to be kind of an update video. No, actually this is going to be the finish of the stereo subwoofer install video. The other parts aren't in yet, but what did come in today was this fucking badass $15 subwoofer from Pyle. Only the absolute best quality stuff for my 90 Miata. I mean, cause what I didn't show you was the whole bullshit of me kind of putting it in there and testing it a couple times. This is a strong subwoofer, like it makes noise. The problem is I had to cut out a little vinyl baffle, I guess. It's not a baffle, but it's a little vinyl ring to sit in between the subwoofer and the box because that wasn't making a tight enough contact, and there's no like spongy material on the bottom side of the subwoofer. Also, I need to take this back out, get in here, and I'll show you what I did. This is the original port that I had in there, and apparently that wasn't doing too well. So I had to cut down another piece, and now it's only about that big. And it made a big difference. I may have to remake this box anyway. I have to take this out and then use the silicone or the sealant to all on the inside edges here. This thing actually performs surprisingly well. I mean, like amazingly well for a $15 subwoofer. And I know everybody's saying it's a mid, it's not even a subwoofer because you can't get low bass out of a 6-inch subwoofer. Well, so what? Screw you guys. One point I can make is that this has a variable crossover dial, and I turned it all the way down to 50 hertz, and I was still getting lots and lots of deep, bassy, deep sounds out of it. Maybe not 20 hertz, well, certainly not 20 hertz, but, you know, definitely some deep, low bass was coming out of it. And a lot of that, I believe, has to do with the positioning, where it's down in there. New amplifier is coming tomorrow, so I'm going to put that in there, and I'll be able to variable crossover my my mids and tweeters and the sub. But for right now, what I have to do, I have to take this door apart because there is a very annoying buzzing happening when I'm listening to anything, and it's somewhere in this door, and I need to figure out what's barely touching and vibrating and stuff like that. I've got seasonal allergies or something, but my nose has been running and I've been congested for about a month now. So if somebody can tell me what that's all about, thank you. The point is, the theory worked, the idea worked, the placement works, everything looks good, everything works good, and if it's not enough, I'll just have to get a slightly better, maybe a slightly bigger subwoofer. Jesse Ortiz, this is for you. A double. Here. See, this is as long as the new tube is. This was the old tube. This is the new tube. Noob tube. Thunk. This is not going well. Try to put another bead in here. I definitely felt air coming out of there. Maybe I'll just goo the outside. Some on the outside too. Not the greatest idea ever, but you know, whatever. Alright, drop that in there. So maybe one day I'll have to put some of this around here just to really lock it down. Super careful driving these in. Hopefully that's not foreshadowing. Alright, so that's all ready for tomorrow when the amp gets here. Wait till you hear how clever I am. So, here's the problem. I was hearing a buzzing somewhere in this door. Somewhere. I have no idea where it was coming from. And it was only certain frequencies. And it's usually like a male speaking voice frequency. So, I tore the door panel off and I was looking at things, and I couldn't get the sound to happen enough for me to kind of track it down. So I downloaded an app, and thanks apps, it's a tone generator that I can play through my stereo, and basically what I can do is then pinpoint. Did you hear it? I can find the buzz now. And what I found was that if I reach way in here, I can make it stop. Whoops. That little box that I had to put in here, the crossover that separates the mids from the highs of the tweeter, there's a box in there. Anyway, I stuck it to the inside of the door, but it's vibrating. So if I decided to take a little thumbtack. This is a toothpick. I'm just going to jam it in here. And now that should solve the problem. Still a little bit. At least that takes care of most of it. Now there's still like a little buzz at 108. But cool little app that allowed me to test for all frequencies, and I'm going to try that again. I'm going to use this again when I'm kind of tuning the subwoofer to see how low it goes. Alright everybody, I'm back. It's a different day. It's the next day. And everything came in. I'm feeling like crap, but I'm making this video anyway because A, I wanted to get it done, and B, for you guys. So here is the finished box. Sounds pretty solid. Looks pretty good. Here's the new amp. The new amp is larger. It has more. And then this is actually what I was waiting on. I was waiting on these splitters because my head unit only has one set of RCA output, and I need to split that into two. And the whole reason why I had to get a different amp is because this amp, this one that's already in here, it's only a 2-channel amp, and that's fine if I want to run just the door speakers or just the subwoofer. What I can't do is I can't run both of those things with a 2-channel amp, so I had to go to a 4-channel amp. Yeah, so there is a bit of difference in the size of these things. Quite a bit of difference. And definitely a big difference in weight too. Like this one is kind of heavy, but this one is a friggin' behemoth. That probably weighs 7-10 pounds. Alright, and you're gonna see here the difference is I simply have one input here, and I've got input controls and crossover. And what's nice is you know, I had a high pass and a low pass, and that's how I was running either the component speakers at high pass or the subwoofer at low pass. But this one's nice because this has channel 1 and 2. That's going to be my door speakers, and so that's going to go on the high pass down here, and I'm gonna cross that over maybe somewhere in the middle here. So that's I'm gonna call that real close to the crossover at 250 hertz. And then the channel 3 and 4 is gonna go to low pass, and I'm gonna cross that over at pretty low, like it goes down to 45, but I'm gonna do it at about 50, 60. And then I am actually going to use this subwoofer control. It's basically just a a remote thing so that from the passenger seat I can play around with it. All right, so everything looks pretty good as far as initial setup. So I'm gonna stick it in now. All right, and then from the leads from the stereo, I've got these splitters on here. This is the negative, or negative. So I'm going to split that among channel 1 and channel 3 negative. And then here's the positive, and that's going to get split on the positives. All right, so that's it. I'm going to hook the battery back up and just test it, make sure everything works, and then I'll bring my audio equipment in here and we'll get some actual sound differences. That's got power, that's a good sign. Okay, so that happens. Okay, that's working. Okay, so I'm in the car and I've got everything hooked up and everything looks pretty good. And I will be recording onto a pretty decent microphone on a pretty decent DAC. And we're just going to find out hopefully what it actually sounds like. And so let's try it. I have to place this little subwoofer controller unit somewhere, and I think I'm gonna run it all the way around in here and put it down here where that slice in my dashboard from the old car was. I don't know. Let's just do this. Well, it would help if I recorded it. Here we go. So this is no subwoofer to start.
You'll never have the sacred stone. Oh, this you crazy mother.
Because I had it up too loud. It was overdriving. Try it again. First with no subwoofer. Put it right about where people won't be listening.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
To be fair and listen to the same bit of music with the subwoofer.
You'll never have the sacred stone. Oh, this you crazy mother.
So that's it. That's what this system sounds like now. I'll continue talking on this audio here because it's much nicer than the audio coming from the camera. But yeah, so I am very, very happy with this whole system as it is right now. The subwoofer is an absolute... It does exactly what I wanted it to do. I didn't want to, excuse me, I didn't want to join or enter any competitions with it, and I certainly didn't want to blow the passenger out of the passenger seat. I simply wanted to fill in the rest of the sound that this car didn't have, and now I'm extremely happy with it. The only things left to do is to attach this up here, hide the wires, and probably get some sort of Velcro or some sort of adhesive. Probably Velcro is going to work best to keep this floor mat where I want it to be. Okay, so literally, guys, that's it. This has been a success. I'm very, very happy with how things have happened. Yeah, I spent some money, and at the end of this, I'm gonna kind of add up what it cost me to put all this together. And other than that, thank you very much for watching. You can have bass in a Miata. It doesn't have to be in the trunk, and it doesn't have to take up all of your space. I've just proven that. So, have any questions? Leave a comment. Share it if you want. Definitely subscribe if this is the first time you're on my channel. And that's it. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.